Mets fan here in the Philippines. The Mets lost against the Braves. It seems like we're always behind in the games. It was 0-2, 2-2 with Soto's home run, then 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 5-3, and they won 5-3. But I just want to cover the Juan Soto, Lindor, Steve Cohen, what he had to say. I had a feeling that they were probably not getting along. This year, I believe they only have 15 games playing together. And that's one of the things that got the speculation higher this year. The second thing was when Steve Cohen said he's not going to put a captain. He's not going to name a captain, even though they said Lindor was trying to be a captain. You don't want to put Lindor as a captain when he's not getting along with the other superstars, which I kind of understand that part, especially when the other superstar, for me, is better. I know a lot of people are going to say, Juan Soto don't get along with players. I believe he didn't get along with Manny Machado. At the same time, Lindor is no saint. He didn't get along with Jeff McNeil. One thing is not getting along, and the other one is trying to choke the other player. That's a different level of not getting along. That's just my point. I like Lindor. I like Juan Soto. If I had to pick one to keep, it will absolutely be Juan Soto. Juan Soto is a lot better for me. He's way better hitting. Shortstop. There's not a lot of good shortstops besides Lindor. But one thing about Lindor that I feel, how can I say this? I mean, he's a shortstop. It's not a lot of players. I was thinking of C.J. Abrams because he was in the trading block. And another thing that Steve Cohen mentioned was it's going to be hard to build. And I said this before. Next year's draft, it's not only me that said this, it's other fans that said this, is that the the free agent pool for next year is limited, it's dry. And I also said, and not a lot of people are Pete Alonso fans still with the Mets, I said we should have traded them beforehand because our rebuilding year was the year before we wanted to rebuild, but we made the playoffs. We should have rebuilt. We should have focused on the rebuilding. We should have just said, you know what? We're going to punt this or we're not going to even try a lot, which we really didn't. But still, it hampered our projected building. Not only that, I feel that by us signing Pete Alonso, that he could opt out, pushed away, Vladimir Guerrero, which I believe we had a chance of getting Vladimir Guerrero because even Vladimir Guerrero said so. He said there was two teams that were looking for me if I opted out, which was the Mets and the Padres. The other thing that I want to cover on this is that something else that Steve Cohen said that caught my attention. Those two things, I'm not going to cover what Chavez said. Actually, I'm going to cover that part too, that Juan Soto doesn't get along, or he used to go hide in the batting cage. And he didn't like that. They interviewed Terry Collins as well. Terry Collins said that if you're, a superstar, sometimes you get those perks. And he gave a prime example. Someone that a lot of people didn't like. Jeff Kent didn't like him, or they didn't get along, and that's Barry Bonds. And Barry Bonds, he had his own type of playing, outside of playing, that maybe rubbed other players the wrong way. And I'm going to sit right here. And Pete Alonso, we could say it's the same thing. I mean, not Pete Alonso, Juan Soto is almost the same thing, that it might rub the other players the wrong way. But Terry Collins said that as long as you're able to produce the way he produces, the way he plays, then other players need to mind. I'm not going to say he said mind their own business, but he gets those perks. Juan Soto, same thing as Barry Bonds. I'm not saying that Juan Soto is Barry Bonds, but Juan Soto is our Barry Bonds right now for the New York Mets. I feel that he's getting a lot of bad rep, the way he acts. And once again with Vladimir Guerrero, because Vladimir Guerrero gets along with Juan Soto, he said Juan Soto is different. His mindset is the game, meaning he only focuses on the game, but he focuses 100%. But maybe in my view, what I think about Juan Soto is that he's more of a straightforward shooter. He tells you the things how they are, even though it might hurt your feelings. Francisco Lindor will try to go around it, try to pamper you, and next thing you know, I mean, both ways are decent. One of them is ruling with the iron fist. The other one is trying to consolidate you so you can play better, even though both of them are the same way. They talk to you, but one is more direct. That's the way I feel about Juan Soto. And I had a feeling, like I said, there was a few feelings, the rumors of last year. The number two is this year they haven't played more than 15 games. They didn't name him as a captain, Lindor. Both of them have been injured when the other one is playing. And one thing that I have to give credit to Steve Cohen is that he brought it up. Now he's putting it on Lindor and Soto to either talk to the media and say, you know what, we squashed it, or lie about it. But they will eventually have to act like they're getting along and at least play. And next thing you know, I don't know if Polanco and Roberts know about it, but they're also going to come in out of the injury list probably this month and start playing. The one thing that Steve Cohen said is that it's going to be hard, like I said, for next year. But the way I see it is, we might lose Bo Bichette, but Lindor and Soto hasn't played most of the season together, so that's like a new addition. Ewing most of the season, as we saw Ewing batting clean, lead off this year, and Ewing batting, I believe, fifth. Add Polanco to the lineup because he didn't play most of the season, and then Roberts, if we keep his contract, then we actually added players for next year. But yeah, the Mets season has been disappointing. Each time that I say that we have a chance to come back, we lose the first game of the series, and then we lose the series. And like I said, we always give the first runs. And that's disappointing. It's an uphill battle. We need to score first, or we need to get the pitchers, our starters, to act better. Kodai Senga is pitching a little bit better. That doesn't mean that other teams are going to try to go after him. Even after David Peterson pitched good in his first game, he got nailed on the second one, 10 runs, which, as a Mets fan, it gives me a little bit of hope that Stearns did a good job on the trade at least. But that's all I got. Disappointing season. Soto, our two superstars, need to start getting along. Good thing for Steve Cohen putting them on blast. Let them figure it out. They're grown men. You're not talking about under 18 people. You're talking about 25, 26, or 27, whatever Soto is, and a 30-year-old. Act grown up. Go to your job. You don't need to like everybody in your job, but you need to do your job. And do it right. Especially when you're getting paid a lot. Anyways, let's go Mets. Thank you. Have a good day.